Does it feel like majority of guys you meet nowadays are just here to waste your time? Do you wish you knew exactly how to spot the men who are time wasters before they even got a chance to do it? Well, today is going to be life-changing for you because on today's live show, we're going to be discussing 7 red flags men will waste your time. That way you'll never again make the mistake of wasting valuable years of your life on a man who doesn't even want to build a relationship with you. Welcome to the Players Club. If you're paying attention to me and everyone else in the live stream, please say here present so I know you're here present and actively participating, okay? How are you beautiful people doing? We got Base Beauty up in the YouTube chat. We got Jazz up in the YouTube chat. We got Missy America in the YouTube chat holding it down for us as our moderator. We got Ivy, one of our most amazing OG channel members in the YouTube chat. We got Cheryl as well. I see we got Kayla here, Tracy here. Ashley is becoming an OG. She's always here and she's always here on time, always commenting. We got Sharice, of course, holding down the TikTok chat. We got SH here. We got Key here. We got Nina here. Layla here. Excellent here. Lily here. Oh, Denise is here. Oh, you beautiful souls are here on time and so early. And you see, I'm kind of on time too. You know what I mean? We all getting the hang of it. We all here at the right time. Okay, how you guys doing? I'm glad to see you guys. I'm in a great mood today. So you better be in a great mood today. If you're not, you're going to be in a great mood. I don't care how you feel. You're going to feel good now. All right. So let's get started here. And of course, we're going to discuss along the way. So let's start off with no direction. Now, no direction is something that I've talked to you guys before about, you women. Okay. And we all need to have an understanding that no direction in all seriousness is actually really important. And the men that you're meeting and the men that you're going on dates with, you need to have an understanding of if this man has direction or not. I know in your heart that it's fun to be with the man who can spend till 4 a.m. on the phone with you every night and to fall asleep with you on FaceTime every night. But the reality of it is the men that are capable of doing that with you all night, every night, all the time are the men who usually don't have a lot of direction in their life, which is why they're spending all of their time and energy on you. Okay. So I need you to understand when you go into a relationship or a dating stage, you need to clearly identify if this man has direction or not, because how he does life is how he'll do his relationships. So if he does not have direction in his life, I can guarantee you 100%, me, Tomisin, I guarantee you that if he does not have direction in his own life, in his personal life, he will not have direction when it comes to your relationship. So they're one and the same. So the best way to get an understanding of how a guy is going to go about you is to understand how he already goes about himself. Okay? So, I'll give you an example of what I mean by no direction, and then I'll give you a great way to spot if a guy has no direction with a question, okay? So an example of a man who has no direction, for example, would be a guy who doesn't know what he's passionate about, doesn't know what he wants to be doing in the next 5 to 10 years, doesn't know where he wants to be. Usually, I'll just give you a synopsis, a guy who's probably working odd jobs with no sort of future goal or plan or bigger mission involved in that, right? There's nothing wrong with working an odd job to make money to do something else with the money, right? But there's something very different of working odd jobs just because you haven't found what you want to do yet. This is the same reason why I tell you guys, right? For some of you who are on the younger side, and for some, I hope you're not listening to me if you're under 20 years old, because this is like R-rated stuff we talk about here. But for those of you who are on the younger side that are dating men who are like under 20, it's part of the reason why I say I can't really help you too much with your questions, because the men that you're dating when you're under 20 aren't even supposed to have their life together enough to know what they want and to have direction anyways. They're still figuring out so much about themselves, their needs, who they are, how they fit into the world, that they don't have any of those answers for themselves yet. So there's no way they could possibly lead you anywhere except off a cliff. Okay. right? It's not to be mean, but it's the process of people growing and maturing. So if you're going to have someone lead you, they have to first be able to lead themselves. And majority of the time, when a guy's under 20 years old, there's no way he can lead himself, me included. Okay. I know you guys see me here. I'm wearing salmon. Everything looks good and nice. I look put together. But in reality, at 20 years old, I was still a work in progress. I'm still a work in progress now, but even more so at 20 years old, I had no idea what I wanted to do with my own life. Okay. And so I just say that to say that's one of the things you need to be looking out for, because a guy is definitely going to waste your time if he has no direction in his own life. Now, as it relates to a great question that you can ask guys to get an understanding of if he has no direction or not. I know there's a lot of new people here. Some of you are OGs. Maybe you've heard me talk about this question. It's a great question. And for those of you who are new, this will be great for you to get this understanding here. So this really good question to get an understanding of the guys you're on dates with, if they have no direction or not. This is what I want you to ask them. Okay. You can write this down. You can screenshot this. You can screen record this now if you want this direct quote that you'll never forget it, and you can write it down in your notebook. Okay. So the question goes, if money wasn't an issue and you could do anything you wanted with the rest of your life, what would you be doing? Okay. For those of you who are slow typers, slow writers, I'm going to say it one more time. This is the question. If money wasn't an issue and you could be doing anything you wanted for the rest of your life, what would you be doing? Now, the reason I tell you guys to ask this question, and I see some people answering, I would love for you guys to answer even yourself, what your answer would be to this question. I'd love to know how you guys feel about this. Okay. I see some people answering, and we'll get to some of the answers in a second. Now, the reason I tell you guys to ask this question is it's because it's a great way to gauge what matters to this guy outside of making money, because that's usually going to consist of whatever he's passionate about, whatever he cares about, whatever he wakes up in the morning like actually thinking about what he wants to pursue. And if he's already in the pursuit of that, well, then that should tell you very clearly that this man has direction, because in the life that he says he would like to live if money wasn't an issue, this is the thing that he's already pursuing in his life. So he's aligned. You get what I'm saying? Now, I'll be very, very honest with you. Majority of guys will not have the correct answer to this, because they won't know where they're going, why they're going in that direction, or if they should even be going in that direction. I'm just going to be honest with you. Okay. We're not trying to attract the average, everyday, mundane man to you. We're trying to attract the top upper echelon of men to you. Okay. I'd be doing you a disservice, I feel, if I tried to help you attract average men who couldn't do anything for you. Okay. But the men who can actually do something for you will have the answer to this question. Okay. And this is the thing that I want you guys to all understand. Mods, if you could put that question in the chat for everyone, just to pin it so they can see it again. Okay. So the question is, if money wasn't an issue, I want you guys listening up. If money wasn't an issue and you could be doing anything your heart desires for the rest of your life, what would you be doing? Okay. And like I said, there's a couple of common answers that a lot of people will give you, a lot of guys will give you, and even some of you gave it in the chat, that I want you to be on the lookout for. Okay. So one of the really, really common answers that you're going to get with people when you ask them this question about the direction they want to take in life, or if what they want to be doing, a lot of people are going to tell you they would love to travel. That's what a lot of people will tell you. Now, this is a cop-out answer. And even some of you gave this answer when you answered the question yourself. This is a cop-out answer because this is very vague and it doesn't speak to any particular intention. Okay, right? And the reason it doesn't speak to any particular intention is because in traveling, that doesn't necessarily tell me what you expect or want to extract from the experience of traveling. So if a guy gives you that answer, I would love to just travel, then the next follow-up question you should ask him is, okay, what experience are you trying to extract from traveling? Okay. It's not just enough to say I would love to travel, because that's vague and it doesn't really mean anything. That doesn't speak to any true desire that you have, any true passion that you have, or anything that you find interesting that's not attached to making money. You understand what I'm saying? And someone who is aligned will be able to tell you what experience they're trying to attract and why they want that experience, or why they want to do that thing, regardless of them making money off of it, because of how it fulfills them, whatever it may be. Okay. You understand what I'm saying? And so that's very important. And I'm telling you, when you ask a question like this, you're going to get some very, very interesting answers. Now, obviously, you're going to get some really vague ones like traveling, and you're also going to get some guys saying, I don't know. I'll be honest with you. The men who say, I don't know, will probably tell you the same thing, I don't know, when you ask them, where do you want to be in 5 years? They'll say, I don't know. And I'll be super real with you. When a guy is of the mindset, I don't know where I want to be, I don't know what matters to me aside from making money, when he's of that mindset, I can assure you that's a man with little to no direction in his life, because anything he's doing is solely based on, where he is at that moment, what works for him at that moment, what's convenient for him at that moment. And see, the problem with that is, if that's how he goes about his job, his career, his own time, what's going to happen is, in his relationships, when he's picking the woman that he wants to make the mother of his children, rather than him having the critical thinking skills of being able to say to himself, I want to be with this type of woman because I need this type of mother to my children, because I know I'm this way, because I know in relationships, this is what helps me the most, and this is how I want to go about my relationship, right? When a man is intentional and understands what his needs are, he'll understand the type of person he's looking for. So when he comes across you, he'll know that you're the person he's looking for, and he'll know the qualities and values and character traits and personality traits that you possess that are specific to you, that he wants for a long-term relationship. And it's very good for a guy. That's what you want, is that the man that you're with, you want him to be sure about you and sure of why he's in this relationship with you specifically. Okay. I know that sounds a little bit, for some of you who are maybe on the younger side, right? Haven't really have much experience in relationships. You don't understand yet the importance of this, but I can assure you it's monumentally important that when a man gets with you, he understands why he's with you, right? And the reasons of why he's with you. Because if he doesn't understand that, and he doesn't, that's not something that is concrete in his mind, when temptation comes along, temptation in the form of other women who are also beautiful, who also have huge dump trucks, who also have voluptuous yitties and nice smiles and are flirty and have lots of energy, when that temptation comes along, and he doesn't have that understanding of why he's in this relationship specifically, what's going to happen is your man's head is going to turn in each and every direction, centered at whichever girl is giving him attention at that time. Because he's going to be like a dog chasing after its tail, right? Just with his tongue out, wagging, running around anything that moves, with no understanding of, hey, why am I already in the relationship that I'm in? Right? Why am I with this girl already? What value is she bringing to me that I can't just go out and find in anyone? Right? Because that understanding of that value is what will keep him sane and keep him not falling into temptation anytime a girl comes along and bats her eyelashes and shows off her dump truck. You understand what I'm saying? And it prevents, this is what stops men from being in the mentality of the shiny new toy, where every new girl that comes along feels like the next best thing to him because she's shiny and new. You understand what I'm saying? And when you're on the more mature side, there's nothing wrong with being younger. You're learning this, and you're actually you're at least hearing this from me, right? But I'm sure for those of you who are on the more mature side that have even more experience in relationships, you know exactly what I'm talking about when I refer to like that shiny new toy thing, and how men can easily fall prey to the temptation of just another girl that's new, that he's never seen before, that, oh my God, this is the next best new girl. And then all of a sudden he forgets everything that he was building with you. You don't want your man in that position, and you don't want to be building a relationship with a man who has that mindset. You want a man who understands that I'm with you for these specific particular reasons that are unique to you. And that's the same reason why I'm with you, instead of being with Sally across the street, instead of being with Sarah from out of town, instead of being with this girl or that girl. You understand what I'm saying? It's a very important foundation for him to set and have in his own mind, that he carries around with him everywhere that he goes. Okay, are we on the same page so far? right? Does that make sense? Kaylee says, how about we teach men integrity and impulse control? I mean, yeah, in a perfect world, that all men would have integrity and impulse control. But in the reality that we do live in, not every man has that. Okay, and that's why we're not trying to attract every man to you. We're trying to attract the right man that has those qualities. Okay, there are men who have those qualities. It's just not every man. But you're not going to be in a relationship and you're not going to marry every man. You're going to marry one man. So you only need one man out of the 8 billion to possess this quality. Okay, so no direction was number one. Now, number two is being impatient. Okay, now this is a very telltale sign of a guy who just trying to waste your time. When he's super duper impatient, and specifically when he's impatient when it comes to having pineapples, okay, and getting access to your Squirtle, that's a telltale sign that he's trying to waste your time. Even being impatient, not just even in this, but being impatient in general in the relationship, trying to speed things along as fast as possible. And he doesn't like when you make him wait for things. He doesn't like when you try to pace things. He doesn't like when things don't all come very easy and very quickly. Okay, the same type of guys like this will have a problem if you try to make him schedule out dates and things like that. And we'll talk about scheduling in a little bit, right? But overall, he's very impatient in the relationship. Very impatient. Doesn't like to wait for anything. Doesn't like to do anything hard. Doesn't like to pace himself whatsoever. He wants things to happen very quickly. He specifically wants you guys to jump right into having, pineapples very quickly, because he's not here to do this whole long thing where you're building and you're learning and you're growing. No time for that. And so what guys are going to do when they're impatient is they're going to try to make you feel like this relationship is growing so much faster and more intense than anything you've ever seen in your entire life. We had a really funny story. I believe it was Layla from yesterday's Discord. I don't know if Layla's here today, but Layla from yesterday's Discord was telling a story of how she met this guy. She didn't really meet him, actually. He was kind of in a circle of other friends. And in the process of him being in a circle of other friends, she was feeling his energy. And she literally said in her message that she felt like she knew him, like exactly. She knew so much about him just by being near him in his presence. Now, this isn't to make fun of Layla, but this is the type of things, I know she was thinking that, but these are the type of things that guys will try to convince you of when they're impatient and they want to hop right into having pineapples with you, because they want you to start to believe in the idea that despite the fact that we haven't spoken, despite the fact that we don't really know each other, despite the fact that we're both actually strangers to each other, if I can manufacture this concept that a connection is so much deeper and vast and crazy than any other connection we've ever experienced in our life. And if I get you to believe in that concept and that idea, then you'll begin to act on that idea, right? You'll begin to act on our relationship based on the idea that we've built this vast, deep connection that is unlike anything either of us have ever. We knew each other in a past life, right? It feels like I've known you forever. Things like that. They'll tell you things like that. And this is maybe one day we'll talk about this, because it's like the advanced player stuff. And I'm telling you this because I used to use stuff like this, okay? It's the advanced player stuff where they make you feel like people understand that there's a lot of people that believe in the spiritual. And so in the process of them believing in the spiritual, there's advanced players that will play into the spiritual side of relationships and make you feel as if the spiritual connection that we're sharing is above time and space, and it's unlike anything we could ever actually justify or look at or see in reality. And because you already want to believe in the spiritual, when they start telling you those type of things, it makes it that much easier for you to be convinced by it, because that's in the realm of things you would already want to believe in. And it's like advanced stuff. Maybe we'll talk about that another day. But these are part of the things that guys will try to tell you and get you to believe in, so that because they know they're impatient. So they know that they need a tunnel or an avenue to circumvent the process of building with you before they get access to your Squirtle. They want to make this quick, easy, painless, and efficient. Okay. And if they're going to do that, they need to convince you that this is the right thing to do so that you feel like it was genuinely your own feelings and your own mind that brought you to that conclusion. Okay. I'm telling you this because it works, and I'm telling you this because I've used it. It's the same reason why I tell you all that the most powerful way to get men to do what you want to do is to plant seeds in them. It's the same thing they were doing with you. By the way, thank you so much. I want to acknowledge 2 people who donated. One earlier was, let me scroll up. Julie donated $5 in the YouTube chat earlier. Thank you so much to Julie. I really, really appreciate you. And thank you to the people who donated a little bit on TikTok as well. She donated $5 in the YouTube chat. Thank you, Julie. And Style and Beauty donates $10 in the YouTube chat. She says, what do I say to a guy who claims to like me a lot but flakes on dates? I plan on telling him that I need to be a priority in a man's life, and I'm therefore walking away. I still want him though. Style and Beauty, I advise you to not tell him that. I know it sounds strange, but I always tell you guys the best way to get a guy to act right is to withdraw your energy. In the process of you withdrawing your energy, let him come to you and ask you, hey, I've noticed you've withdrawn your energy. Did I do something wrong? What's the issue? Then you can communicate to him, hey, look, my expectation of a guy is this. You don't say, I want you to do this. You say, my expectation of any guy who's going to have access to me is this or that or this or that. And then you leave it there for him to say, oh, I apologize. I'm going to begin doing this. I'm going to adjust my behavior, right? You don't ask him, can you adjust this behavior? You just withdraw yourself. Then when he comes to you, you let him know your expectation of a guy, of a man that's going to be your man is going to be this and this. If that's not him, it's fine. But that's your expectation of, that's the only type of person that's going to get your time and attention. And that's how you go about it, because then he gets to make a decision, or he feels like he's making a decision that, oh, if I want to be with her, then I make this adjustment to be more like what she said she wanted. And that's how you get a guy and that's how you get a relationship in the dynamic where he's chasing after your approval instead of you begging for things. You understand what I'm saying? Okay. I hope that makes sense, right? So, a guy that's impatient is number 2. Impatient specifically to get access to that Squirtle. And we've talked about some of the different tactics he's going to try to use to get access to that Squirtle. Okay. So no direction, number 1, being impatient, number 2. Number 3 is a man who can't schedule. Okay. A man who can't schedule is going to be wasting your time, because the reason he can't schedule is really and truly, honestly, because he doesn't want to schedule things with you. Why? Because that's too much work. Takes too much effort, takes too much consistency, takes too much forward thinking to have to schedule with you. That's a telltale sign. O'Keefe just said it right there, that he's lazy. And if a guy's that lazy that he can't even plan or schedule a date with you or schedule some time to see you in the future, then I can promise you he's not here to do anything hard. Okay, that just spotting the time wasters is really spotting the guys who aren't here to do anything hard. Because if he's going to be chasing you, or for some of you that like it better when I say pursuing you, right? That's going to take effort. That's going to take actual deep desire. And so spotting the men who don't have deep desire to pursue you will be very easy when you start looking at it from the aspect of these particular actions. When he can't schedule anything with you, I can assure you, he is not interested in building anything with you, which means in turn, he is just here to waste your time. Okay? I'm going to tell you that very simple. Now, this is where we're going to talk about something that makes me mad that we've talked about before. Pen pals. Because some of you are in a position where you think you're building a relationship with a guy, but you're actually wasting your time because you have a pen pal. Everyone in the chat say no pen pals. No pen pals. The reason I say that is because a lot of you, for those of you who are new here and are like, what is he talking about? What does he mean when he says pen pal? A pen pal is a man that you message consistently all the time. And even for some of you, you call and you FaceTime, but there is never any intention of actually seeing each other in real life. And even if you talk about it sometimes, you never actually do it. You never actually see each other in three-dimensional space. You only ever talk on the phone and talk about the idea of meeting up one day in real life. And a lot of you, oh, it's an epidemic. It's an epidemic. It's a virus that needs to be taken out of this world. It is a virus. And for some of you, you're with a man who can't schedule because he doesn't want to, but you've convinced yourself that your pen pal actually wants to build a relationship with you, but you continue to waste your time. Waste your time. Okay? Because you're with a man who clearly doesn't want to put in the effort of actually scheduling anything with you, right? And putting in effort of actually planning for the future with you. And you're continuing to talk to this man despite the fact he's making it clear he doesn't have the ability or the desire to schedule anything with you. Because being in a long distance relationship, for a lot of you that think you're in a long distance relationship, being in a long distance relationship takes twice the effort, twice the desire, twice the intention. Because it's not like, oh, I can just pull up on you when I'm free. No, I got to plan to be free for in the next month or in the next 3 months. I got to plan exactly how long I'm going to be free. I'm going to plan exactly what the itinerary is going to be for when we hang out. You have to be so much more intentional when you're doing long distance. And for some of you, you're not thinking of that or realizing that. And so you're allowing men into your life who are literally just here to waste your time. Some of them, they just want a pen pal too. They just want to chat with you, right? They just want to chat with you to have company. For some of them, they like chatting with you so they can wank themselves off. You don't realize that, but they're chatting with you, and all of a sudden every single chat and conversation turns into dirty talk. You're FaceTiming him your dump truck, right? He's FaceTiming you with his legs spread open, wanking himself off. Your legs are spread wide open on the camera, right? Rubbing yourself out. And you guys are talking, and he's just using you as, live pineapple videos and some dirty talk to wank himself off and bust a nut to. Not doing anything, not planning to actually see you in person, not planning to actually build anything with you in person. Okay? And this is part of the huge problem. This is part of the epidemic. This is part of the virus. Okay? And I'll even give you an example of what I mean to when a guy can't schedule, even aside from a pen pal. So if you notice that you're dating a guy, you think you're dating a guy, or you think you're getting to know a guy, and you notice every time you're texting him and you guys are talking about this conversation and that conversation, getting to know each other, and then the idea of you guys meeting up gets brought up, he says, well, I'm busy this day, or I'm busy all of next week, or I'll let you know if I can, or yeah, for sure we should do it. And then a week goes by and nothing ever gets set in stone. And then 2 weeks goes by and it's still just kind of casual conversation about one day doing it. Until eventually you become frustrated and you're thinking to yourself, why can't we schedule anything? And then for some of you, it's even where even if he does see you, instead of him being able to say, okay, well, you're not free this week. Are you free next week on Wednesday? Okay, I'm going to put Wednesday in on my calendar and then we'll hang out on Wednesday, right? For some of you, it's the guy can only see you when it's convenient for him and when it's 5 minutes before or when it's 10 minutes before. Okay. And for some of you, you're in a position where you're dating or you're seeing a guy who only has time to spend with you when he can get you to hang out right then and there. It's a right now or it's never. I only call you at 2:30 a.m. after I finish at the club, or I can't hang out, be bothered to text you or message you or try to plan or schedule anything with you. Either you're DoorDash and you come to my door in 45 minutes or less when I order you, or I can't be bothered to speak to you. That's the position that some of you are in with a man who can't schedule, not realizing that that's one of the telltale signs that a guy is just going to waste your time and waste a lot of your time, a lot of it. Okay. Anitra in the YouTube chat sends $5. She says hamburgers or hot dogs. I would say hamburgers. Okay. So that was actually her question. So does that make sense to you guys so far? Right? Someone says that's not a red flag, that's a hazard light. A man who can't schedule listen, I consider a man who can't schedule a red flag, because if he can't schedule with you, if he can't do that, if he doesn't comprehend the ability to be able to schedule and plan with you, how are you ever supposed to see that man in real life in person? So what flag is that supposed? That's supposed to be a yellow flag? That should be the ultimate red flag, because how are you going to build a relationship with someone who can't even properly plan to see you in person? Where's the relationship going to come from? Is it just going to exist in your mind forever? Okay, this is like a foundational element to being able to grow a relationship. Okay, like that's like the ultimate red flag. That's like the ultimate whatever you want to call it, right? Makes sense. So no direction, number 1. Being impatient, number 2. He can't schedule, number 3. Number 4, and this is gonna hurt some of your feelings. Please prepare. Please buckle up your seatbelt. Please get strapped in. Okay, this is gonna hurt a lot of your feelings. Number 4. In terms of identifying a man who's going to be a time waster, he's going to want to be moving at breakneck speed. You're not going to like this one, because this one goes against every single one of your favorite Disney princess movies where they fall in love in 5 minutes. In your favorite Disney princess movie, right? Everything happens in 5 minutes, and when each of the main characters lays their eyes on each other, they fall in love, and everything is so magical, and they get whisked off to a land far, far away. So in your mind, you're thinking when you meet a guy that everything should be moving at breakneck speed and everything should happen in the first 5 minutes the same way it did in your favorite Disney princess movie. I'm here to tell you that that is only a sign of a guy who's only trying to waste your time. Why? Because he's trying to move at breakneck speed, because he don't have time to be spending with you and wasting on you when he knows he's only here for one thing and one thing only, and it's between your legs. And for some of you who are really good at this, it's your mouth as well. And for some of you weirdos, it's your feet. Okay? But my point being is he's only here for that thing. And if he's only here for that thing, he wants to get to it as quickly as possible. All this chit chat, small talk, pretending like he likes you, it's painful to him. I'm telling you the truth. I told you this is going to hurt. I'm telling you, as a guy, when you know that you're only here to smash, small talk, pretending like I like you, pretending like you're interesting, laughing at your jokes as if you're funny, it's painful. It burns calories, okay? Like it actually burns me too many calories that I don't want to consistently do it for too long. So if I can move this along faster, if I can get you to believe in something that will get this sped up, I can get what I want way faster, and I can spend way less time having to be so fake with you. Okay? Painful to be that fake with you when I know I'm just here for the one thing. Not saying this to be mean to you, but I really want you to understand this. Okay. So if I know that it's painful for me to have to fake it with you because I know I'm just here for the one thing, well, then I'm going to try to move this along at breakneck speed. And I'm going to try to get you convinced that this should be moving along at breakneck speed. So what am I going to be doing? I'm going to be doing things like love bombing you. Okay, I'm going to be doing things like selling you on this dream. Oh, when I laid my eyes on you, it was love at first sight. I seen your hourglass figure in your dump truck, and your silhouette was just glistening in the shadows. And then when I came up to you, it just felt so magical, similar to how I talked about being impatient and the type of things they'll say to you, right? It just felt so magical being around you, and it just feels like home when we're together. And I don't even feel like I need to know you because it feels like I've already known you for so long, right? And they're just trying to speed it up, get it going. And you start believing in this. And so when he's like, yo, I want you to move in tomorrow. Oh, I want you to move in next month. Oh, I know we just started talking, but can you be my girlfriend already? Like, I just feel like I already know that I want to marry you. What's your ring size? And he'll just start talking this. He's not going to actually do anything. Okay. But he'll start talking this as if, let's move this along. Yeah, let's get this going. I already know that I really want you and I want to build this with you. And then you're going to start to adopt the mindset that, oh my God, he's moving at breakneck speed because he knows how much he likes me. And the only reason he knows how much he likes me is because of how interested and how much desire he has for me. And so you start to think in your mind, if I don't mirror that same amount of desire back towards you, then I'm the the person in the wrong here. Then I have the wrong idea. Then there's something wrong with me. And so even if you feel uncomfortable moving at breakneck speed, you convince yourself that you should also be moving at breakneck speed, because if you don't like him as much as he likes you, then, and he likes you this much, and this connection is as deep as he says it is, then you should be feeling the exact same way as him. You should be on the same timeline as him, even if it doesn't make any sense. Okay? Daisy said master manipulation. Yes, this is like top upper echelon manipulation, right? If I can get you to believe in the idea that we should be moving at breakneck speed, and I think about it, if I start talking to you about how we're going to get married in 6 months, about how I want you to have my baby and I want you to have all 3 and 4 of my children, and I'm so ready to build this life with you, and I'm so ready for you to move in with me. Think about it. I'm pitching you this and this idea where this is up here. So what do you think you're going to think about us sleeping together? You're going to think that's not even that big of a deal. We're already going to live together in a couple months. We're already going to get married in the next year. I'm already going to have a family with you. So us sleeping together, that's not a big deal on commitment. All the other things you just told me about, those are way more of a commitment. So obviously I'd be okay with sleeping with you. That'd be perfectly fine, right? And just that fast, and that's literally how long it lasts. That's as long as it lasts. Okay, and you're staring up at the ceiling, counting the ceiling tiles, thinking about your Disney princess movie, thinking about how this is just like your favorite Disney princess movie, and this is your magical moment. And by the time you can even finish fantasizing about your fantasy, it's already over. He's already busted a nut, and he's fallen asleep already. Okay, so breakneck speed is not good. Breakneck speed is a sign of a time waster, even though you feel like, well, is it wasting time if he's moving at breakneck speed? Yes, because after he finishes moving at breakneck speed and getting access to what he wants to, I was going to say breaking your back, but we all know 90% of guys aren't breaking your back. After he finishes moving at breakneck speed, getting what he wants out of you, then he will proceed to move on from you. But it's a time waster for you because you just invested yourself emotionally, spiritually, physically in a guy who you're not even going to end up with. You get what I'm saying? So it still ends up being a time waster for you, even if this happens during a short period of time. Any time spent on someone that you don't actually end up with is, to be honest, is a time waster for you, because what's the point? Okay, aside from the learning lesson, but what's the actual point when you waste a body, when you waste that connection, or you waste that investment that you put into a guy that you don't even end up being with? Okay, does that make sense? Angie said, rearranging my guts is what men say. One told me that. I mean, that's what they say. How many of them actually do that? Okay, I'm sure a lot of men talk like that. But when it comes time to pull out the hammer, or in some cases the pencil, and they jackrabbit you for 90 seconds, I'm not sure if a lot of them are actually doing that. I'm just telling you what the word on the street is, what I hear from other women. Okay, so anyways, no direction, being impatient, can't schedule, breakneck speed, and number 5 is no escalation. Now, this is actually direct opposite to breakneck speed. And I know some of you are going to say, wait, so you're telling me moving at breakneck speed is a time waster type of guy, but also no escalation is a time waster type of guy. Tomisin, you're contradicting yourself. Tomisin, you have no idea what you're talking about. Tomisin, you're an actual idiot. You just said 2 things that are complete opposite, and it makes no sense what you're saying now. Everything you're saying must be a lie because you're a dummy. Hold on. What I'm saying is that when you're finding someone who's not actually here to waste your time, they will be moving at a realistic timeline. There will be pace to what he's doing, but it will increase in terms of its intensity over time. Meaning, excuse me, it won't be moving at, I always tell you guys, balance is the most important thing. I'm never going to teach you any sort of ideology that you should live your life in one extreme or the other. Okay, everything about how you're supposed to be building relationships is going to be about the balance that you can find in a relationship. Now, when I talk about no escalation, you don't want a guy to be trying to move things at breakneck speed. That's going to be a sign that he's trying to get this over with quickly and efficiently. right? But you also don't want to be spending your time with a guy who has no escalation, and ABC just said it in the chat, or progression. No progression would be an even better word for it, right? Because if there's no progression, if there's no growth, right, then you're never going to be in a position where things are taking the next step. And if things aren't taking the next step, well, what are you going to be? You're just going to be in limbo. You're just going to be stagnant there, not understanding why things aren't moving forward, right? A great example of no escalation would be dating a guy for 6, 7, 8, 9 months, right? You're going on a year now that you're dating a guy, and you've never met any of his friends. You've never met anybody in his family, right? And he seems to only want to hang out with you isolated from everyone else and keep you separated from anything else that's going on in his life. That's a great example of no escalation. And a lot of guys will do that to you because they only plan on using you for what they want to use you for. And they have a subconscious understanding in their mind that you're a temporary thing, not a permanent thing. So there's no need for them to be introducing you to the mother and the father or the brothers or the sisters or even the best friends, because they subconsciously understand I'm only here to waste my own time and her time. For some men, they're wasting their time by they just want access to your Squirtle while they figure things out and find the girl that they're actually looking for. I know it sounds horrible, but that's what some men are doing. And so they're not trying to escalate anything further along than it needs to go than just being your friends with benefits or being this casual thing where he can sleep with you. Okay. Guys don't mind confusion. They actually would love confusion because it'll keep you confused just waiting for something to happen. Guys don't mind confusion as long as it comes with you continuing to sleep with them. Okay. Guys don't care what the title is. Guys don't care if you're confused. Guys don't care if you don't have answers. As long as you continue sleeping with him and he continues getting what he wants, he'll try to keep you in that place for as long as possible without escalating things any further. And every time you come to him and you say, I feel like we've been friends with benefits for like a year and a half now, and I just feel like I feel like you don't really want to date me. And I feel like if at this point, it's been a year and a half, I feel like you should kind of know if you wanted me to be your girlfriend or not. And I just feel like since you haven't asked me to be your girlfriend and you always shut it down, like, I just feel like maybe you don't take this seriously. And then what's he going to tell you when you say that? He's going to say, no, what? I take this so serious. Don't you see how serious this is to me? I mean, you come over to my house, don't you? I mean, I let you cook me food, don't I? I mean, I let you do my laundry at my place, don't I? I let you clean my house, don't I? I let you rub my feet, don't I? Don't you see how serious this is? Our relationship is so serious. You're basically like moved in here, except for when you're not here and I have other girls over sleeping in the bed, having pineapples with them instead. But for the most part, it's like super serious, isn't it? Wouldn't you say that? And that's the problem, is that when you hear that, you just go back to being like, oh, well, I guess you're right? I guess you're right. Not realizing that he actually hasn't said anything or done anything to escalate the relationship, but he's thrown you enough of a breadcrumb that your little sad little mouse mouth will eat it all up, and you're at least good until the next time you complain. Okay? It'll hold you until the next time you start starving again. In which case he'll give you another story about how things are about to happen, or maybe they're going to happen, or isn't this that, right? He'll give you some hope that you can chew on until you get tired again. Okay, that's why hope can be such a dangerous thing. Hope will literally have you waiting for a man who is never planning on building anything with you. Okay, so like I said, yes, you don't want a guy who's trying to move things at breakneck speed, but you also don't want a man who is having no sort of escalation or no progression in the relationship where nothing is happening. You're still friends with benefits 2 years into the relationship, and you're sitting here wondering why he hasn't put a title on it. And I know that some of you are really going through this, and I know this from listening to the Discord. By the way, you guys know we're going to hop into the Discord in a little bit. So if you have a Discord question for me, please make sure to go to the link in my bio and ask your Discord question. Or if you're on YouTube, go into the link in the description and ask the Discord question. Okay. By the way, if you guys have missed any of the points that we've done of the 7, go over to my YouTube page, which is right on the top of my head. Just type in my name and then you can rewind it once you find my YouTube page, because I'm live on YouTube at the same time. Okay. Just make sure you guys know. So no direction was number 1, being impatient. Number 2, right? You can't schedule. Number 3. Number 4 is moving at breakneck speed. Number 5, no escalation. Number 6 is something that you probably is not going to make a lot of sense to you. Okay. Number 6 is pointless apologies. Now, this is something that a lot of guys are going to do to you when they don't have a real intention of building something with you. You have to understand, when a guy is here to build something with you, build a relationship with you, right? There's obviously going to be a process in which you guys disagree. You don't see eye to eye. Both sides, both parties are going to make mistakes. One person's going to do things to hurt the other person. And then there's a process of apologizing for that, but also acknowledging why that happened and then figuring out how you can adjust the behavior so that that thing doesn't continue to happen. You understand what I'm saying? Right? And so in the process of that, oh, thank you so much. I appreciate the gift, Sammy, in the TikTok chat. That was a really generous gift of you. Thank you. Sammy's the #1 gifter in the TikTok chat. So thank you so much. I appreciate that. Right. And the thing about it is, as guys are going to, as you're building this relationship with the guy, or you think you're building one with the guy, what should be happening is, in the process of him making mistakes, he's going to apologize for those mistakes. But the apology won't just be an apology. The apology will also be followed by some sort of course of action to come to a resolution where that thing doesn't continue to be an issue. Why? Because if I'm trying to build a relationship with you, right, and I want this relationship to actually work out, I don't want problems in our relationship to continue being problems forever. So if there's something I do that you have an issue with, but I don't actually focus on trying to solve that issue, well, then that issue is going to continue being an issue that never gets solved. So then how are we supposed to build a relationship on an ongoing issue that lasts forever? You can't. Right? That's like saying, let's say, for example, a guy says, oh, I only cheated on you because I was drunk and out with my boys and I didn't know what I was doing. And we went to an after party and we had all these girls around and everything just kind of fell apart and I made a mistake. And then they apologize for that. But then literally the next week, they're getting blackout drunk with their boys, going out to an AP with a whole bunch of random girls around. It's like, well, if you know that getting drunk is your problem and going out to the club with your boys is an issue, then you need to be figuring out how you're going to solve those issues. Maybe you got to stop drinking. If you know when you get drunk, you can't make good decisions and you're a horrible decision maker when you get drunk and you can't think straight, then you're probably going to have to solve the issue of getting drunk. Or if you enjoy getting drunk, you go out to events or in places where you're not in a position that you could even have the option to cheat. Or you avoid going to these after parties where you can actually have a bedroom to take a girl home with you or whatever, right? There has to be some sort of course of action. It can't just be, yeah, I'm sorry about doing the thing, and let's hope that I don't do the thing anymore. There has to actually be a course of action where, no, I apologize for doing the thing, but here's the course of action so that the thing isn't an ongoing thing. I'll be the first to tell you, there will be quite a few men who can't do this. Trust you me. I just be honest with you. There'll be quite a few men who can't do this and don't have the critical thinking skills to be able to do this. Okay? Some of them are just idiots. And some of them don't have the desire to do it because they don't even want to build anything with you long term. Either way, you don't want those men. Because either way, those men are going to waste your time. Right? Because if they're only going to give you pointless apologies without any course of action or way to resolve the conflict for the future, it will continue being an issue at one point, right? Because it continues being an ongoing issue, you'll continue to become increasingly frustrated because of that ongoing issue until eventually you will reach a breaking point in which you will then cut this off, or just have some huge blow up, and the relationship will end one way or another. The relationship will end. And so in turn, it becomes a huge waste of your time because you've invested a whole bunch of time and energy into someone only for this relationship to not work out because they weren't willing to actually make the adjustment necessary to help this relationship for the future. They just kept pointlessly apologizing without any course of action or any sort of changes. Right? And you don't want a man who's going to give you pointless apologies. It's the same, and you'll be able to, trust me, we're talking about this. As you grow, I know it sounds a little bit complicated, but as you grow in your relationships and you hear my voice, you'll start hearing my voice and seeing my face in your sleep, when you're on the toilet, when you're taking a shower, when you're doing anything. Because as we continue talking about this, and this is on the front of your mind, it'll make it easier for you to identify when a guy is not actually taking any courses of action to try to change things or adjust things and just chatting you up to make you feel like something's about to change, but nothing ever changes. And you'll get the sense of that very early on, and you'll say to yourself, yeah, I'm going to wipe my hands clean of this guy, because it doesn't make sense for me to be sitting here and hearing you give me some cheap apology, knowing that you're not actually going to change the way you go about this, and nothing's actually going to change because you're just going to apologize and then do the same thing anyways. So why do I care? Why do you care? Why does anybody care? Let's all stop caring. Right? So you don't want that. You don't want that. Okay. So number 1 was no direction. Number 2 was a man who's super impatient. Number 3, a man who can't schedule. Number 4, a man who's moving at breakneck speed. Number 5, no escalation. Right? And then number 6, pointless apologies. Number 7, it's gonna be painful. Number 7, empty promises. Okay. See, like I said earlier, hope is a very, very dangerous thing, because hope will have you believing in something that is never going to happen. And what a lot of men will do when they want to take advantage of you is they'll feed you a whole bunch of empty promises that will get you excited on the possibilities. Notice I said possibilities. Notice I said possibilities of the relationship and of the future, hoping that you will, these all kind of serve the same purpose for the man because they'll get easier access to you, but they're hoping that you will cash in on your hope ticket, right? Your lottery ticket of hope, because of what you think things are about to be. Okay? So what do I mean by that? I'll give you a little bit more of an analogy. Okay? Imagine me and you were friends, and I told you, hey, I got a secret for you. And you're like, wait, a secret? Yeah. I'm like, I want to do something very special for you. It's a little secret. Don't tell anyone about this, but this is going to change your life. And you're like, okay, what's the secret? And I'm like, look, I have a winning lottery ticket. This lottery ticket is worth $1 million. So when you go cash this in, you're going to win $1 million. I'm going to give you this lottery ticket. And I promise you, in a month, when you cash in this lottery ticket, you're going to win $1 million. Give me 500,000 and you can keep 100,000. I promise you. Money's yours. So what's going to happen is, in the next month, when you have the belief, if I'm your friend and you trust me and you believe that I've actually given you a winning lottery ticket, what's going to happen is, let's say you were struggling up until that point. You were barely getting by, living paycheck to paycheck, and you really had to budget your money so tightly in order to be able to just live on a everyday basis. What's going to happen is, for the next month, rather than being tight with your budget and rather than being really meticulous with all your spending to make sure every penny is accounted for, you're going to start living your life as if you've already cashed in that check. Why? Because you're expecting this money to come to you. And because you're expecting this money to be yours and to come to you, you're going to start going about your life as if you already have that money in your hand. And so the money that you do have, even though you're supposed to be budgeting it, it won't be as important to you to budget that money because you're looking ahead to the future of when you have even more money. And you're going to be looking ahead to how easy and amazing your life is going to be when you have all that extra money. So you're going to spend your little money as if it's extra money. The problem comes when you go in to hand in that lottery ticket and you realize your lottery ticket's not a winning ticket. And then you look back and you think to yourself, you're like, oh my gosh, I'm in a horrible place because I just spent all my money as if I was going to win $500,000, but I don't have $500,000. So what am I supposed to do now? I'm broke. I got to declare bankruptcy or something like that, right? And the reason I give that analogy and that example is because it's the same thing with the empty promises. Guys are going to waste a lot of your time promising you things that are about to come. You'll begin living your life with the understanding that this thing is about to come, and you'll begin acting on the idea that this thing is about to happen just now, in a couple days, in a couple weeks, in a couple seconds, right? So they'll have you believing in things like, oh, we're going to get married. Oh my God, you're going to be the mother of my children. Oh my God, you're going to have my babies. Oh my God, I can't wait to get into this relationship with you, even though we just started dating yesterday. I already know that you're going to be my girlfriend, and I already know in a couple of weeks, I want you to move in with me. Right? That's when he's handing you the lottery ticket, telling you it's going to give you $1 million. So then when you start going about the relationship, going to his place, sleeping over, making him dinner, cleaning his laundry, sweeping his house, doing everything that you think a wife should be doing because he's telling you that you're about to be a wife in the next couple of weeks, sleeping with him, right? You're about to be a wife in the next couple of weeks. Well, then what happens? You do all of those things thinking that that's coming to you. And then in a month time, it doesn't come. In 2 months time, it doesn't come. In 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, a year's time, it never comes. And you just spent a year of your life spending all of your budget, or in this case, giving him all of the wife treatment you thought you were going to receive. Of the title that you thought you were going to receive. And you never ended up receiving that thing. And this is the thing, you'll start to notice when guys are giving you empty promises, when he continuously talks about things that he's about to do with you in this relationship, and you start to realize none of those things actually ever come to fruition. Right? Just meaning comes to end up being reality. So for example, a guy that you're a pen pal with, that's telling you, oh, I can't wait to meet you. I can't wait to take you out on a date and take you to this fancy place and that fancy place. And you're thinking in your mind, okay, yeah, it's about to happen. It's about to happen. We're about to do the thing. And then 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and it's nothing but excuses. Or for some of you in a situation where every time you spend with a guy, it's at his place. And then you're like, look, we only spend time at your place. And then instead of him actually planning a date with you, he tells you, no, look, I guarantee you when I get paid next, we'll go out on this date to this place and we'll do this and we'll do that. Or just in the next couple of months, we'll do this or we'll do that or we'll do, right? And he sells you on that idea, but that date that he's talking about never comes. Instead, for the next 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, you just continuously end up going over to his house for one excuse or the other. It's cold outside. Oh, I got this to go on. Oh, I don't have time. Oh, there's no reservation. Oh, it's one issue or another. And in the end, you never end up going out on that date. You get it? You get what I'm saying? Okay. Mariana King donates $5 in the YouTube chat. Thank you so much, Mariana. She says, you're giving us priceless advice. You're truly amazing. No more time wasting. I would hope all of you beautiful, amazing people do not waste any more time. Was there someone that donated earlier in the YouTube chat? I hope I didn't miss it. Let me just see here, make sure I didn't miss any. Okay, I don't think I missed it. Okay, thank you so much for your donation. I appreciate you. Okay, so does that make sense to you guys, or are you guys confused about anything? Do you guys have any questions about what we just discussed, right? Ariza says, how is all of this for free? Good things happen to good people, okay? So you just got to accept it. So good things happen to good people. Why are some guys kind of invasive after a breakup? Like they'll befriend us. Oops, what did it say? Like they'll befriend us, befriend your friends and all. Um, that could be probably just to get into your head. You understand what I'm saying? That could be to get into your head. Okay. Uh, let me see here. Thank you guys too. I want to acknowledge you guys that donate. You guys are so generous with the donation. So I don't ever want you guys to think that I'm not super appreciative of all the donations that you guys give. You guys really help support the show here, right? Someone says, what about a guy who says it takes patience? Well, yes, this is why I say you want your life to be in a balanced state. You don't want to be on one extreme or the other. So you don't want to be moving at breakneck speed in your relationships, but you also, there needs to be an element of escalation that goes on throughout the span of the relationship. It can't all just be, hey, just wait for patience and you're still friends with benefits. Or just wait for patience and you're still just coming over to his house, watching Netflix and then getting a jackrabbited for 90 seconds and getting sent on your way home. That's not patience. You understand what I'm saying? And this is the thing. You'll start to feel, I promise you, when you gain a better understanding of this stuff, you'll start to feel and be able to identify the difference between someone who's like pacing themselves and actually intentional about you and someone who's just like, you know, saying that just to string you along. There's a big difference. And you'll notice the difference in the amount of intention he has with you and the amount of consistency and how he treats the relationship. Okay. But there's a balance there. It's not meant to be all of one thing or the other. You understand what I'm saying? Someone says, wanting an avoidant that's attached to get it together. Should I even bother? You got to let guys make their own decision about if they really want to be with you or not. That's why I always tell you, don't be trying to stimulate guys to like you and want you more. Do nothing and then see what he does. See what he does. Someone says, have you read What Men Don't Want Women to Know by Smith and Doe? No, I haven't. Is it a good book? Did I talk about some of the things that is in that book? Okay. Someone, Liba says, what about the guy who said he wants me, but he's in a committed relationship? I'd never advise any of you to be trying to build a relationship with a guy who's in a committed relationship because you'll only end up hurting yourself. You'll never be the priority to a guy who's already in a committed relationship. Okay. Okay. By the way, if you guys have personal situations that you want me to answer, right? You have a personal, like actual special situation. I'll never be able to give you a real proper answer when you only give me one sentence. So we're going to hop into the Discord in a second. And you need to go and send your question into the Discord where you can send it in multiple characters, and I'll answer your question live on the show. So for someone like Pound Cake says, my ex stopped dating me after we had a kid, go send your question in on the Discord so that you can put in all of the detail and I can answer your question live on the show. You understand what I'm saying? And I can give you a more detailed answer. Okay. The Discord, for those of you who are on TikTok, is in my link in my bio. And then for those of you who are on YouTube, it's in the link in my description there. Okay. Kelsey says, men my age simply won't notice me or just end up stringing me along to pursue another girl they find attractive. I've tried everything and I'm just disappointed and burnt out on all the mayhem. Well, here's the thing is, first of all, I'm a big believer in, you are what you believe you are, and your life is exactly what you believe it is. So if you believe that men continuously overlook you and you don't matter to them, then that's what your life will be. Okay. And you're not going to be able to unsee that if that's what your belief is of yourself. And so I think that the first step, if that is what your true belief is, then the first step to actually seeing something different is to gain confidence in yourself by investing some time and energy into you. It could be by going to the gym. It could be by doing whatever makes you happy, painting, drawing. It could be by taking care of yourself, your skin, your hair, your nails, whatever that will increase your confidence in you, that will make you actually feel like you're the it girl. Because when you actually feel like you're the it girl, you're going to start manifesting that in your actual life. Because that confidence, that aura that you carry around with you, I see a lot of people saying aura nowadays. I've been saying that. But the aura that you carry around with you, people will actually be able to receive that from you. And when they receive that from you, they will treat you as such. And so you'll begin to see the confirmation of what you already believe in your mind. So if you believe that you're overlooked and men don't really find you very interesting, then that's exactly what will happen. But you need to fix your confidence in yourself if you actually want to see something different. Okay. Right. Let me see here. Base Beauty says, I'm attractive AF that have so many wealthy men with golden retriever energy wanting to show me they are the one. That's exactly what you want to be believing, okay? I want you guys to believe that. And I want you guys to continue investing in yourself so that you can truly believe that. When you look in the mirror, you're actually like, nah, I am it. Nah, my dump truck actually is hitting. Nah, I really do look like a model. Nah, I really am that girl. You know what I mean? Like, and actually believe it. Because as you actually believe it, you'll begin manifesting it into your real life. You understand? And you'll begin seeing confirmations of it in your real life. I 100% guarantee you. You don't believe in the law of attraction. You don't even have to believe in the law of attraction, okay, for this to work, because that's just the law of the universe, okay? But I can assure you, you will manifest whatever you believe in your mind. Okay, right? Pretty Hazel says, I agree. I lost 97 pounds and my confidence is high. I am the woman I am now. I agree with you. I lost 100 pounds as well. So 100%. I can agree. I can see. The thing is, this is the amazing part, is that I don't talk to you guys out of my butt from a place of, yeah, you know, I'm just a guy who's never had to experience anything, but like, take my advice on what you should probably do to improve yourself. No, I'm actually someone who had to look myself in the mirror and make improvements of myself, you know, and increase my own confidence in myself. So even when I say things like going to the gym to increase your confidence in yourself, those are part of the things that I actually did to lose 100 pounds and increase my confidence in myself. I'm not just talking out of my butt. You understand what I'm saying? Okay. With that being said, it's time. It's time. Chat, let everyone know what time it is. For those who are confused and don't know what this is all about, you'll have no idea what time it is. But I'm here to tell you it's a very, 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 very special time. It's that time of the day where we all get to say the things that we've been doing in our relationships and the things that have led us to our dismay. It's a happy day, it's a sad day, and it's a day for learning all kinds of ways. It's Discord time! Let's get it. Let's get it. It's Discord time. Let's do this. Let's do this. Let's do this. For those of you who are new, you probably don't know what Discord time is, but you shall learn. By the way, Anna, thank you so much for the $20 donation. Please, everyone, give Anna a round of applause. Anna just donated in the YouTube chat there, and I really appreciate the $20 donation. She says, just thank you for the donation. Okay, so for those of you who are unfamiliar, this is where all the Players Club members get to ask me their personal questions about their relationships and their situationships and their everythingships, and I will answer them and give my honest opinion live on the show. You see, we got lots of submissions here. All of these that are highlighted are ones that I haven't answered, so I have to scroll back to the bottom because this is queued in terms of date posted so that I can answer everyone on a first come, first serve basis, okay? So my apologies that there's a lot of questions. A lot of people have a lot of questions, okay? So Jade Babe says, stepping outside the house. Hey, Tomisin, so I'm officially dating app free. Thank the Lord. I'm officially dating app free for about 3 months, and it's a lot more freeing. I'm so glad. I met very handsome men, some very generous, but they all turned out to be very clingy or crazy. Isn't that kind of good for you if they're clingy? That's kind of good for you, kind of, right? Maybe not the crazy part. Basically, it's another Craigslist version of meeting people. Wait, what? Oh yeah, on the dating app, yeah. I realized I need to meet someone in the places they would actually be. I registered to an MMA gym recently. Oh, okay. Well, okay. All right. You got it on. Okay. Little box. You got some hands on you. Lots of masculine men there. I'll agree with that. One problem, I don't find men approaching me, which I know won't happen soon. So soon. But my coach came up and asked me how old I was, and I said 27. He looked at me like I had 5 heads because he thought I was 17. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Some men heard our convo and were in shock as well. So now I know why men might not want to approach me in the gym in gym clothes, because the gym clothes make me look underage. Okay. Regular clothes, I can pull off 20 to 24 in my. What type of gym clothes are you wearing that they make you look so underage though? I'm kind of confused a little bit. Okay. How long do you think it would take for a man to approach in general when attending to a place like this? They would expect me in class from time to time, so I feel like waiting for the right opportunity might be a man's strategy. Any tips, suggestions? I'm very serious, but when me and my sparring partner, a girl as well, I'm very smiley and sweet, caught a few eyes glancing at me. Okay, so Jade Babe, I actually think, well, I do still tell you, I don't think that you should be doing something specifically just to meet more boys. But you know what? I'll say congratulations to you because at least you started stepping out of your house and doing something that I hope that you enjoy this thing. And that's good because honestly, that's the first step to something even happening. Even if you don't meet someone at the MMA gym, maybe you meet someone on the way to the MMA gym or on the way back or in the parking lot or whatever. You never know. As soon as you step outside of your house, the possibilities are endless. So I need to give you a round of applause and congratulate you on that because this is where your life starts. This is where your real life starts, okay? And here's the thing. I need you to understand. This is the amazing, Jade Babe, this is the amazing thing about doing something, especially what you're doing, where you're doing it on a regular basis, where you have scheduled classes ongoing, because you begin to become a part of a community. So what ends up happening is rather than a guy feeling the pressure of having to give you some weird pickup line because he sees you at a bar and it's just randomly seeing you at a bar, you're part of a community of people where you build friendships and you all get to know each other. Right? And in the process of getting to know each other, obviously there will be guys that are attracted to you, but not every guy is going to come off up to you right off the bat, simply because you have to also understand those men are also not trying to come across as creeps and be too upfront. And they also understand that you have to, I know that in your mind, you're thinking I'm open for anyone to meet me. But you have to also understand from their perspective, they don't know that you're open to meeting people and dating new people, right? That's not something that they would just automatically know. So there are going to be men that find you attractive or interesting that might just be, like you said, waiting for the proper approach because they don't want to come across as pushy or too forward when you might not be there to meet new people to date. Do you understand? And they're not going to make the assumption that you're there to meet new people to date. So they don't want to approach you the same way they approach someone that they saw at a bar when it's a little bit more obvious that those people are probably more single and open to meeting new people to date. You understand what I'm saying? So be patient because those men might still be interested in you, but just developing their strategy or building even up the confidence and the courage to go up to you or say something to you that's kind of in the flow of what you guys are doing. So they don't come across as like, hey, I like your butt. Can you give me your number type of thing? You understand what I'm saying? And this is the most amazing part about attending a class or being a part of a community where you're seeing people regularly, because in the process of them seeing you regularly and you seeing them regularly, right, it builds that comfortability that allows for both of you to be in a whole bunch of possible situations where you guys might start sparring with each other, or you guys might have to use each other as partners or as a demonstration or whatever it may be that brings you and someone else together in the spawn of that class. And then slowly but surely, you can begin developing a relationship with someone that's in that class. And you never know how that might develop, but there's so many possibilities of it developing with someone because you're seeing them on that regular basis. So honestly, Jade Babe, I don't want you to be discouraged that it hasn't happened on the first date. I can assure you, when you go outside, and especially when you start being a part of a community like this, you're going to be building so many friendships. This will come naturally without you even having to try. Especially if you're an attractive woman, you will not have to try for this to happen. I promise you, even if let's be so for real. Even if guys thought you were 17, there's still going to be some guys that will approach you. Okay? Let's just tell it for what it really is. Okay? And don't you worry. Don't get your panties in a bunch and don't be all bent out of shape because it hasn't happened in the first 30 seconds of you walking into the gym. Understand that you're still in an MMA gym, so guys aren't going to approach you as aggressively as they would if you were walking into a bar with a whole bunch of drunk men. You understand what I'm saying? But that's still a good thing. You're going to have guys approach you the right way, and more than likely they're going to try to approach you on some respectful stuff because they don't assume that you're just one of these low quality women here to mess around. Okay? Which is good. You want that. So just be patient is my complete answer for you. Next we have here, make sure I'm in the right order. Next we have here, let's see here, so many. We have A. A says, you're amazing. Quick question. Okay. She says, hi, Tomisin. Thank you for answering my question about my elderly husband. Right? An affair. I would like to know what your advice would be to give your past self in terms of relationship and dating. I guess my advice to myself would just be to accept the reality that even in the people that you're dating and that you're in relationships with, listen, it's a painful reality, but everyone is looking out for how they can best serve themselves. Even the people that want to tell you that they're the most generous, the most giving people ever, at the end of the day, people are self-serving before they can ever be trying to serve you. That's not a crime, but you need to, the realization that advice that I would give myself is understand in your relationships and even your friendships, understand how you can find a place in your relationships where you both serve each other in the way that you need to be served, right? So figure out how you serve someone else and accept that as the reason that they're with you because of how you serve them. And then figure out how they serve you as well. And figure out if you can find an overlap where both of you are happy with the way you're serving each other. Because if you're only thinking, hey, I'm expecting to date someone that's never thinking about themselves or never thinking about how how this situation will serve themselves, well, then you're lying to yourself and you'll be really confused when people do things that are in the best interest of themselves and not in the best interest of you. I used to be really hurt when I would see people or feel like people were doing things in the best interest of themselves that might not necessarily have taken me into account. But then I realized that actually has nothing to do with me. And it only has to do with the fact that they're going to try to serve themselves before they're going to try to serve me. And that's not a crime. That's not even a bad thing. But you have to figure out how to take care of yourself, be whole, and then see what extra you can bring to a relationship. And that's when you'll bring the best version of yourself to a relationship. That's my advice to me. And that would be my advice to the rest of you as well. Okay, so next we have here, let's see, Nuela. Nuali? No. Nuela? Nuela? Nuala? Nuelia? Nuela? I think it's Nuela. Okay, I like that name though. I like it. How to carry yourself as a high value woman, what to do and what to avoid. Okay, so I'll answer this one first. Just seems like 3 small questions. So now here's the thing. I always want to be weary of telling you guys what you should be doing or not doing as a woman because I'm not a woman, so I can't tell you what the best version of a woman is when I'm not a woman. However, if you want to be putting yourself in the best light, right? My whole thing is you should always be at all points. If you want to be seen as high value to the men, you should always be focused on 2 things as a woman: respect and fear. I know those don't sound magical, and I know those don't sound fantastical, but respect and fear will get you exactly what most of you are looking for in a relationship, which is a guy to treat you the right way, which is a guy to be respectful towards you, which is a guy to give you princess treatment, and which is a guy to not cheat on you and not go behind your back and not try to manipulate you or use you. Those don't really come from adoration and love and appreciation. Those truthfully and honestly come from a place of respect and fear. Because when they respect you and they respect your boundaries and they respect your opinions, right? They'll treat you as an individual and they'll actually be thinking about what you want and what you need and what you desire and how they can adjust and fit for that. When they fear you, they'll be in fear that if they don't do the right thing or they don't treat you the right way, then they'll lose access to you. And then some other guy will come along along and he'll treat you way better than he has, and he'll never get access to you again. So he'll stand up straight and he'll actually try to be the man that you need him to be. Okay. So respect and fear are the two things that I think, if you want to be a quote unquote high value woman, that you should be after, because respect and fear will get you to be treated the way that I know most of you want to be treated in a relationship. Does that make sense? Right. Number 2, you said, is it okay to say hi first when you see him for the first time? I would advise you, if you're making, the most you should ever be doing is making eye contact with the guy. And through your eye contact, we talked about that in a previous live stream, how to flirt with men, and making eye contact to give him the signal that, hey, I'm actually interested in you and I would allow you to approach me. Anything outside of that, I don't recommend you to do, simply because the moment you go up to a guy or approach him, you've already set the groundwork that, hey, I'm pursuing you. So then he gets to sit back and say, okay, let's see what you got. It's not good for you. It's not a good position for you to be in as a woman. What to wear for the first time you meet him to capture his attention and leave a good impression. This is pretty particular to each individual man. So I wouldn't be able to just give you a blanket statement, not understanding what your specific situation is. It's also particular to your own individual aesthetics. You could be a girl with super voluptuous, giddies, and maybe you want to show off those in the way that you dress. You could be someone with a nice hourglass figure. You want to show off that. You could be someone who likes dressing like a tomboy, and maybe that's just how you want to approach her, or maybe he likes tomboys. I don't know. Okay. But that's really a preference thing. My advice to you in terms of capturing, if you want to capture attention initially, here's the thing. I don't want you to, I get where you're coming from, but my larger piece of advice, if you're meeting a stranger, would be to just be true to yourself and wear what you feel the most confident in. There's nothing wrong with wearing what your boyfriend finds the most attractive on you when that's your boyfriend. But for these strangers that you don't know, it's better to just wear what you feel the most confident in, simply because that will give you the most confidence, and then you'll outwardly exude the confidence on that date, which is what's more important. Because like I said, what you wear is going to be kind of a function of that will impress him or capture his attention, will be a function of what he finds the most interesting, and that's a preference thing. So it's better to have the confidence in yourself when you go out on a date with a stranger, with a new person, that you can use that confidence to actually, have him be more interested in you and be more desirable. Now, if it's a guy that you're dating for a while, like this is your boyfriend, then you can just ask him, that's your boyfriend, and then he'll tell you what he likes the best on you. Okay. So I hope that was good advice for you. Next we have here, let's see. Long distance relationship, situationship, keep cooking or uncooking. By the way, thank you guys so much. And advice to those of you who are trying to type in your question right now, please keep it under the character count. Like, I know some of you may have to go into a part 2, but try as much to keep it under the initial character count and fit it in I think it's 2,000 words. Because over that, sometimes some of you just end up rambling, and you want to keep it focused on the point. Hi, Tomisin. I took all your prior advice and let my long distance relationship cook. Unlike the Disney princess timelines, as you mentioned, you're 36 and the man is 41. To refresh your memory, I've been dating/chatting with him since February, March. We met online. I know this is not your ideal. No, it's not, but let's see how this goes. Our first date happened on April 2nd. May, he flew us both for a weekend getaway in another state. Okay, so he ballin'. Third date, he flew me out to his home city to spend his B-day with him. Fourth date, wow, we met halfway and we staycationed at an Airbnb. Okay, he's not playing around. Each and every time he's paid for everything. He not playing around about you. With a minor exception of one brunch I paid for and me cooking breakfast for him on his B-day. Nothing wrong with that. With groceries he bought for us. Nothing wrong with that. We've already gotten intimate on our second date away. Not ideal. Okay, but clearly even after the second day, he was still putting in effort, but still not ideal. Which I know from listening to your content, I should have asked way more questions and alluded to commitment prior to ever giving up Squirtle. Yes. However, I am okay with being a fun hookup. Wait, what? I do not like this. I'm okay with being a fun hookup if it just ends up being that. Okay, we're gonna pause here. I don't like this, and I don't like when any of you say this because you end up playing yourself. Whenever you guys do this, you end up playing yourself. There's nothing wrong with wanting to have fun. There's nothing wrong with wanting a guy who's got a thick longness that can just penetrate you deeply and rearrange your guts, and it feels good and you want to enjoy yourself. I'm not telling you that that's a crime to want to enjoy yourself. I just know from experience that in the process of you enjoying yourself, this is what happens. See, if you're really enjoying yourself to the point where you want to continue coming back to that man, spending time with him, you want to continue getting him to penetrate you, what's going to happen is you're going to become attached to that man. Why? Because you're enjoying yourself with that man. You're enjoying your life with that man. You're enjoying the connection you have with that man. Even if you say you're just having fun, you're enjoying having fun with that man. So you're going to want to continue doing that. So what's going to happen is after a while, you're going to want it to go from not just being only fun to actually escalating into maybe being something more. Here's the problem though. When you treat it like a fun hookup and you try to tell him, hey, I'm okay with just this being a fun hookup, he's going to say, oh my God, so you don't want commitment? You don't want me to try hard? You don't need me to do anything? I can just sleep with you without putting in any of this effort? You're like, yeah, no, I'm just down to have fun. He's going to say, perfect. I'm so glad you said that. Let me take back my $1,000. Let me take back the Airbnb. Let me take back this and that. Let me take back the gifts I was going to get you. Let me take back all the stuff I was going to plan on doing for you to try to prove to you that I wanted to build this relationship. I'm just going to take all of that back because there's no need for that because you already said you're okay with us just having fun. So it'll be fun if I can see you whenever it's convenient for me and I'll just sleep with you and then you'll be on your way after that. That's pretty fun for me. I save a lot of money that way, right? And then what's going to happen is you're going to start feeling like you want more, but you've already allowed him to get you with less. And so now you're going to become frustrated because when you start asking for more, he's going to say, whoa, whoa, whoa. The deal was I give you basically nothing and we just both have fun. Now you've contradicted yourself and you've put yourself in a really horrible situation where you've given a guy everything that he really wanted, okay, for nothing. And then now you're trying to up the price on the thing that you were already giving away for free. Who's going to want to pay for that? You're already giving it away for free, okay? So it's not good. As at the time, I wasn't looking for anything serious. It's one of the same reasons why I tell you everything should be serious, okay? Don't ever just spend time wasting time because just having fun and hooking up is wasting your time. Because if you're not actually planning on this being serious, you're wasting your time and you're wasting energy that could be back being invested in yourself instead, okay? And I don't think that you should be doing that, all right? For anything serious that I promised myself I wanted to be single for at least a year until giving any type of commitment. So then be actually single. Don't be in a situationship or be basically dating a guy in the process because now you're just looking for company. You're telling me you're not ready for commitment, but you're doing things with a guy who seems like he's trying to build a committed relationship with you. So that's unfair to you and the guy. To any guy trying to date differently as I've been divorced and remarried again and needed a year to just breathe. So why don't you just take a year to just breathe and not do anything with any guys? Have fun and not be tied to a serious anything until my full year is up this August. So why don't you actually do that instead of going on staycations with a guy? He messages me every night and every day and night, works anywhere from 70 to 100-hour weeks running his own business. He's been consistent since the day we started talking, but having said all this, has yet to ask for a commitment. BC, unless I'm mistaken, did you not just finish saying that you were okay with it just being a fun hookup? So then why are you then commenting on the fact that he has yet to ask for commitment? Before I get angry, let's continue. Which is fine, as I'm still being open to dating others beside him, Beside him, seeing he's not my boyfriend slash husband, nor do I feel obligated to message him or reply to him daily, even if he messages me daily. Let's see. I like your advice on if this long distance relationship, Squirtle, in your opinion, could still lead to a committed relationship. What do you want, BC? What do you want? And I'm being so serious. Because when you tell me things like you want a fun hookup and you're okay with it just being a fun hookup, I'm going to go ahead and assume, like, in so many words or in so many actions, you've also communicated that to the guy that you're seeing. So what do you actually want? Because you're over here saying that earlier, and then you're asking me if this could lead to a committed relationship. Do you want a committed relationship or not? I'm genuinely confused. If you're okay with the fun hookup, then be okay with the fun hookup. If you're not okay with the fun hookup, don't lie to yourself. And don't lie to me. Okay? Because clearly, if really the fun hookup was all you were interested in and you didn't care about anything else, you wouldn't even be asking me this question, because it would be irrelevant to you whether he wants to lead us to a committed relationship. Also, this is part of the problem. If you've been setting the precedent that you're okay with a fun hookup, what is he supposed to do when you turn around and say now all of a sudden you want commitment? He's going to say, listen, I don't want to cast any aspersions on you, but that's essentially like a bait and switch. Because if you're telling him, hey, I'm cool with this being a fun hookup because I had to get remarried and I need some space to just relax and chill and not have anything serious. If you're going to tell him that, and then he's going to be like, okay, if that's the page that we're on, then this is what we're doing, and he does that and he agrees to that, then all of a sudden you come out one day and say, well, now I've changed my mind. I want this to only be a committed relationship, or I'm not giving you any ass to me. That's a bait and switch. Because he was down with what the situation he thought was supposed to be a fun hookup time. And now that you're telling him that it's not that, well, he might react differently and say, well, that's not what I was here for. And honestly, I don't think that he's a bad person if you change your mind and now you expect what you are giving away for free to come with commitment. I always tell you all that as the women, you hold the cards. You're in control of telling men what the standards and expectations are if they're going to access you. So if you set the bar super low, right? And guys are like, cool, you're willing to set the bar super low. That's perfectly fine with me. And then all of a sudden you're like, no, actually, I want to set the bar super high. They're going to go, whoa. That was not in the cards. I was only here because you were setting the bar super low. You want to set it high now? I'm outie. And you should have set the bar high from the very beginning. Okay? I'm still in the courtship stages of getting to know him, as there's already been some things in question I'd have to consider. But being in a long distance relationship, I know I want to know if I should start pulling back if this ends up just being a long distance Squirtle situationship in his mind. Once again, I'm confused on what you want. You're going to pull back if this is just a fun. Oh God. Chat, is this making sense to you, or is it just me that I'm only confused, and for the rest of you it makes sense? Because I just can't wrap my head around how you're saying this, and you're saying you're going to pull back if it's a long distance Squirtle relationship in his mind, but you literally said earlier, you said earlier that you are okay with this just being a fun hookup if it ends up just being that. I'm not trying to shame you or anything, BC, but like, it just doesn't make any sense. I just don't understand. Why would you pull back if he's viewing it the same way that you're okay with viewing it as? If that's the case, I'll continue to date others with intentions and do things completely different with the next guy I end up dating. I'm confused. I'm really confused. I don't understand. I feel like I've missed something here. I might have to reread this one over. This might be one of the ones where I missed something really pivotal to the thing. But I thought you said at the beginning that you were not in a headspace to be anything serious with. I don't understand. P.S. I've been following you for a while. It's great to see the growth of your channel at the Players Club. Keep it up. The value you bring has helped so many of us. Side note, forgot the promises he showered me with lots of gifts and small gestures within this time, and currently live 3 hours away from each other in the same time zone. What one-sided annoying fact, he likes texting, even though I've stated I hate texting long paragraphs and rather have a quick phone call instead. He's yet to call me, and yet so I started ignoring his messages. Texting is a waste of time if he isn't making plans to meet up for our dates. Usually last 36 hours. Learned from you. Okay, BC. I think the only thing you need to focus on here is, what do you want? Like, what do you truly want? And this, because honestly, it sounds to me like you truly want a long-term serious relationship. That's fine. That's not a crime. If you want a long-term serious committed relationship, then just like, let's just all accept that, and let's all go about it like that. So if you're going to withdraw your energy because he's not giving you or being in line with a long-term serious relationship, then just like communicate that and make that clear. Like, I feel like you might also be confusing him with your actions of saying you're looking for something fun, and then he's going about it as if this is just supposed to be something fun. So I actually think if you want a long-term serious relationship, you need to reverse course and make it clear that I'm actually only looking for something really, really serious. And if that's you, great. If that's not you, also great. But I'm not looking for anything in between. You're actually putting yourself in limbo here. And I'm shocked that he's actually being fairly intentional with you despite you having this limbo in your own mind. Because to me, what you put on this page doesn't make any sense to me in terms of, I'm not sure, do you want fun hookups or do you want a real relationship? If you want a real relationship, make that crystal clear and make sure any guy that steps into your life is aware that he's not going to have access to you unless it's a serious relationship. If that's not what you're looking for, then make it crystal clear that you're only here for a fun hookup. I want to read the chat because I just feel like I've missed something in there. Ashley says she thinks her only mistake was not asking more questions or alluding to commitment. But then then my question becomes, why did this is why I say this is a problem, because when you say at the beginning of a relationship, I'm just here for fun and the hookup, when the fun hookup actually becomes really fun and enjoyable, you want to do more than just hook up, which is the same reason why I tell all of you, never just be in a situation where you're having fun hooking up, because you're only going to end up wanting more than the hookup down the road when you've actually been enjoying yourself. So there's no point doing that. Either the relationship is going to end, right? Or the fun hookup's going to end, or you're going to enjoy it so much that you want more. At which point you'll be conflicted because you have been offering this you for free to a guy that you're now telling you want commitment from. And it's going to make no sense, and you're going to look like a fool. Okay? Right? Does that make sense? Does that make sense? So I think you need to decide on what you want out of this situation, BC. I try to read the chat more because sometimes I be missing stuff, and maybe the chat, you guys might pick up on stuff that I don't pick up on. Okay. Right. So next we have here, let's see. Let's see. Chloe. Okay. Chloe says phony people. Okay. Let's see what Chloe says. Chloe says, Dear Thompson, I've always had the wound of not being able to maintain friendships and build connections with people who are genuine. I'm 21. We all grow out of friendships in life, but the pattern I find myself in over and over again makes me feel like there's something on my end I am doing wrong. I grew exhausted from texting so many people and juggling friendships only to be unnoticed when I don't reach out. Yeah, I've been there. I had decided to stop reaching out to people first and found out that none of those friendships stood a chance once I withdrew myself. It's a painful realization that we all have to go through, especially when you're in your early 20s. See, this is the funny thing about being in your early 20s. You're just finishing, well, some of you might still be in college or university. And then for those of you even that aren't in college or university, you're still a little bit fresh out of high school. So when you're 21 years old, 20 years old, you still are connected to the people that you were going to high school with. And obviously high school is a really social setting. So it still feels like you have a lot of friendships when in reality, see, this is what happens when you go into your deep adulting stages and you're in your later 20s, you realize that most of the people that you were friends with in like the high school years was more because of the convenience that you were continuously seeing each other every day, and not so much because you're actually aligned in each other's thinking and shared interest, right? And you realize that when it comes down to just actually being about the shared interest or the alignment in the way that you think or go about life, you have a lot less friends than you even realized. And there's a transition period that pretty much all of us go through in our early 20s where our friendships and our relationships, we'll call it just all our friendships and relationships, they transition from just being people that it was convenient to be around to being the people that we actually align with. So you're going to start meeting people at work. You're going to start meeting people at, wherever you spend time with, the classes that you take, the gym, things like that are more aligned with you, and you're friends with them because of aligned interests rather than just going to the same school or the same university and things like that. So your friendships are going to drastically change. And yes, part of that realization is that most of your friendships aren't real friendships. They're more centered around the convenience of the friendship because you live close or you go to the same school or whatever it may be, right? Stood a chance once I withdrew myself. Or for some people like me, I used to be a club promoter because I was a club promoter, okay? However, I had 4 best friends I knew I could trust. We'll call them Rachel, Kyle, Dante, and Alvin. So you had 3 guy best friends. Okay. Okay. It's not a good sign, but but let's go on. Maybe I'm wrong. Kyle and Alvin are twins, so when I reach out to them, I reach out to both of them. I treat them and love them both the same. We all grew up together, friends since the age of 7. We all separated in terms of schooling around the age of 13, 14, but all my friendships with them were still strong, except for me and Dante's. Let's see what happened to Dante. When Dante switched schools, we didn't talk for a few years, but later reconnected temporarily. Even though no one outside of them ever showed me attention or considered me for my birthdays, I still would make the decision to plan for myself and invite the people closest to me. Rachel and Dante wouldn't show up the way Kyle and Alvin would. Okay, but it wasn't enough. 2 years ago, me and Rachel stayed friends and began talking more and more, establishing a security between our friendship after not talking for a few years. Me and Rachel became as close as we were as children again, but I later learned her and Dante newly reconnected. What do you mean by reconnected? What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that? Even though he hadn't initiated a reconnect with me, it also would later be revealed that they were closer to each other than I was to them. What do you mean by that? Because they would always hang out together first, invite other people who aren't even in our group, then invite me last. I called her out on it. She ghosted me and has been kept her friendship with Dante since. Even hung out with him knowingly on my birthday once. Cal and Alvin invited me to their prom in high school. We hosted a send-off and had a great night. But Cal and his brother went to prom with another friend of theirs, but only ended up posting the pictures from prom, not ours. That same year, 2022, I met a dude in June named Ja. We dated for a year. I invited Cal and Alvin to hang out with me for my birthday for the last time. Usually after we meet or spend time together, me, Cal, and Alvin and I would encourage seeing them more to keep our friendship afloat. I chose to stop planning things for my birthday to see who would show up. Same 2 people, Cal and Alvin have an annual birthday party at their house in November, and they invite me every year. The girl that they are friends with, that they went to middle school with, Victoria, me and Victoria would hang out at parties and communicate here and there. Last summer, I was having health issues and was constantly sick and stressed while with Ja. He gave me herp. chlamydia, and other things. Let's see where this goes. When I confronted him about my diagnosis, he took my phone and went through it without asking. That's an insane response. Automatically, I suspected he was betraying me, so I went through his phone back. I have a feeling where this is about to go, and this is not good. I found multiple other girls in his phone. Let's see who some of these girls were, along with Victoria. I thought so. I thought this is where this was going. He gave me the silent treatment, so I took it as my opportunity to leave. I told Victoria what he gave me and that she should go see a doctor. She was nice about it. We left it at that. Me and her still had fun and talked at Kyle and Alvin's birthday celebration later in November. You still stayed friends with the girl who knowingly slept with your boyfriend? Okay. After I left Jaw alone. This year round, I made sure to make it clear to both Kyle and Alvin that I like to see them more since the same conversation every year about not seeing each other a lot. See, you're doing a lot here. You're really coming across as the girl who really wants to be liked very badly, even in your friendships. This is why I tell you a lot of the stuff that I tell you applies to friendships and relationships. When people sense the desperation on you that you want to be liked by them so badly that every single year, please come to my birthday party. Please, I'm dying for you to want to be friends with me. It's repulsive to people. Not to be mean, I just have to tell you the truth. And invited them to dinner. January 6 to 7 months ago, I texted Kyle to see if he was still interested. He didn't open my message. See, now you're getting into very desperate territory where people clearly they're not interested in. I'm not saying you're a bad person, but they're making it clear to you how they feel. I playfully confronted Kyle and he apologized and explained that he doesn't get my notifications. No, he just doesn't care. I guarantee you if it was a girl he really wanted to penetrate, his notifications would be on so loud you can't unhear it. Now, just a couple of days ago, Alvin sent me an invite to a bonfire they're having, and that's when Kyle would open my message. I confronted them both about why they never respond when I initiate anything. Alvin's response was, I didn't know you wanted that type of friendship, but if you want to communicate more, we can. This basically means I don't care about what you're saying. That's what that translates to in guy speak. Okay. Even though I literally explained to them multiple times, kind of sounds like you have a little bit of feelings for like multiple guys in this friend group, because the attachment that you seem to have to them and this friendship is not the same level of attachment that they seem to have towards you. Just saying. I said, okay. And that I let them know if I could come to their bonfire. Over the weekend, they are posting that they are on vacation with Victoria for her birthday. What's the problem with that? Is that supposed to be your vacation? My issue is they are not treating their friends. They're treating their friends better than me. That me and Victoria shared the same man. Wait, what? My issue is not that they are treating their friends better than me, or that me and Victoria shared the same man. That's the least of my worries. I just feel like I'm being treated according to my convenience. I mean, yeah, you are. You're like the ugly stepchild. They probably laugh at you when they're spending time together. Like, they're making it obvious to you that they don't really care that much about you. Not to be mean, I'm just telling you the truth. And maybe while this was happening all this time, my info and vulnerability has been shared with their other friends. Yeah, they probably laugh at you. Not to bully you, I'm just telling you that they probably laugh at you because you're continuing to ask them for their approval and their validation when they're making it clear to you they don't care about you. I just have to be real with you. When I explained this to Cal, why are you continuing to confront people about what they've already made clear to you? Okay. He said that he would call me to talk to me more and work things out later that night. They don't care. He has been ignoring me since. I just told you, he does not care. Okay. The bonfire is in a week and I'm debating going because my therapist says that if they didn't want me there, they wouldn't have invited me. No. Okay. I'm not going to say that your therapist is wrong, but what I will say is they honestly could just be inviting you out of pity because you beg so much for their approval and to be their friend. They invite you just because they feel bad that if they don't invite you and they post about it, that you'll complain again. I'm just gonna be honest with you. But I also don't want my presence to be taken for granted either. I'll be 22 in September. Are you sure? Are you sure? And it's hard to look forward to my birthday knowing no one is going to even blink at me after all of this. One by one, each of these people have shown themselves to be the same person, someone who is not my friend. Why is that? Why do people not want to be your friend? Okay, I'm going to give you a little bit of reality here, okay? I need you to understand that not everyone is going to like you. You're not going to be everyone's cup of tea. That's okay. Part of growing up and maturing is realizing that your energy is best served being in the places where you're wanted, not trying to put your energy in places with people who don't actually care about you. This is the mistake that a lot of people made. Trust me, I made the mistake too, in thinking that your relationships that have been happening since you were young, since I highlighted the wrong thing, that were happening since you were young are the relationships that you have to have for the rest of your adult life. There is a painful reality that you're facing now, that we all face, in understanding that the people that we necessarily went to high school with aren't the people that are going to be our friends for the rest of our lives. And in a lot of cases, and in some cases and in a lot of cases, you meet some of your best friends in adulthood, because those friends are friends of yours because of your shared interests and your alignment in your mentality and who you both are, right? Not just because you went to the same middle school and you've been friends since you were young. The reality that sets in is that the friends that you were friends with since you were young, they all grow up to be different people with different interests, different ways of thinking. And so some of those friends continue to align with each other and have an ongoing friendship, but some of those friends don't align with each other anymore and they grow apart. It seems like this group of friends are of the same kind, right? They align with each other. And for one reason or another, you don't align with the type of friendship that they have. That's not a crime, but I need you to understand, if you're not welcome there and they're making it very obvious and clear to you that they're not very interested in being your friend, don't continue wasting your energy on those people, trying to force them to be your friend. It's the same thing as when you're trying to beg someone to be in a relationship with you or to want to desire you or want to be with you, right? In a romantic sense. You're doing this in a non-romantic sense, and all they can think to themselves is, this is so repulsive, how much you're begging for our attention. We don't care about you. And they're making it pretty obvious to you without telling you, hey, we don't want to be your friend. When someone's ignoring your messages and you have to confront them consistently about ignoring your messages, they don't want to talk to you, okay? So don't be worried about the why. Worry about how you can transition and take your energy away from being so focused on them and putting your energy back into yourself, figuring out what you enjoy, and start doing those things by yourself at the start, right? And in the process of you doing the things that you enjoy by yourself, stepping outside of your house, you'll start meeting people who enjoy those same thing. And at least you'll start creating some friendships with some people with shared interest in with you. And that actually you don't have to beg to be around you. You understand what I'm saying? Or beg to come to your birthday party. Very sad. Don't do that to yourself. Okay, next we have here, let's see. Miria. That's a cool name. Could you clarify a small part of your response to me? Dear Tomisin, thank you for your response on Friday night. This is probably a while ago. I would like to explain that I made the mistake of being too available for the guy after losing my job. I haven't found your show. I hadn't found your show yet, unfortunately. Could you explain two things? One, how could I fake not being more available after suddenly losing a job that occupied 50 hours weekly? They fired me unexpectedly due to an abrupt change in the direction of the company. I found it hard to not respond to his text, faking unavailability. Even if I was occupied looking for a new job, obviously my schedule has cleared up significantly. Well, see, here's the thing. You can still be doing things with your life, even though you're not necessarily working 40 hours a week, okay? I know, obviously, in a more tangible, logistical sense, yes, if you lose a job and you're not working a job that took up 50 hours plus of your week, yes, you have more free time, right, in general, but that doesn't mean that all of that time that has been freed up for you because you no longer have a job means that that's not time that can still be allocated towards you. So you can replace that time that was spent at your job, obviously looking for a new job, but also picking up and starting to do more things for yourself that was previously energy getting put into your job. Okay. And there could be a plethora. See, this is the thing that a lot of you struggle with, is the ability to start doing things for yourself and investing your energy into yourself. See, the moment that you don't have a job or something else that you can put your energy towards, you start becoming fearful that, oh my God, well, I got to put my energy towards something. And it's like the last thing you want to put your energy into is yourself. You're always looking for, where can I project my energy onto someone else or something else that's not me? And you literally should be craving the ability to take back energy from other things and put it into yourself. You should be craving that opportunity. So your 50 hours throughout, I promise you, by the time you start doing things like going to the gym, by the time you start doing things like, taking care of your health, building a skincare routine that's better for you, maybe taking care of your hair better, maybe cooking some meals that you find healthier because you want to live a healthier lifestyle. If you're working 50 hours a week, you probably don't get a chance to cook some real good meals. Picking up some hobbies that you never got a chance to explore since you were working 50 hours a week, right? Or even exploring the opportunity of maybe building your own business or your own passion or doing something for yourself, right? You'll be surprised. Once you spend a couple of hours thinking about some things you can do for yourself and you build a routine out of that, you'll be surprised how much time is spent investing back in you that will fill up your schedule. And that doesn't require you to just sit around. Like, what you're basically saying now is, because I lost my job, I'm just going to instead sit around for the 50 hours a week that I have free now, waiting for paint to dry while I hope that he texts me back. You will never build a relationship with someone that desires you when you're in that mind state, because nobody will be attracted to you in that mind state. You'll be so needy and so desperate and so available, no guy will be interested in you. So it's not about faking the availability. It's actually about taking back that energy and investing it into yourself, not looking to invest it into other people. You understand what I'm saying? You say I made the mistake by telling him I wanted a committed relationship and security. No, I believe what I said is you made the mistake by asking him to do that for you. If he's not showing you commitment and security, you withdraw yourself until he comes to you asking why you withdrew yourself. Then you make it clear that the only type of guy that will have access to you is a guy who is committed and consistent with you. That's what you do, right? So there's a difference between asking him to do that for you, and then there's a difference between that and withdrawing yourself, having him come to you and explaining why you withdrew yourself. Okay. What I told him is that I wanted it not necessarily from him. So I wanted to date man, as I was noticing our relationship was not leading to that. He asked for exclusivity at the start of seeing each other, and we had agreed that we were seeing each other to determine if we could build a connection or relationship. Okay, that's fine. Please, could you explain what should I have done instead, and why was that a mistake? So I just explained it. You withdraw first, you allow his withdrawing to then have him come to you. Then when he comes to you, then you explain what you want from any man that's going to have access to you. So next we have here, you said, I'm not in love with him, but I really believe he is a good man and wanted a serious relationship with me if I hadn't screwed it up by being too available due to my unexpected job loss. Your unexpected job loss is not a particular reason to be so desperate and needy for him. Okay. Obviously you have more time, but that time can still be taken out back and invested into yourself. Okay. So my initial question, do you think he can still come back? Could be rephrased as, do I have a chance to reattract him if he comes back? Even if he does it for building pineapples, not a relationship, is there any card I can still play? No, do nothing. You have to allow him to come to his own realization of him wanting to be with you. So if the things that you did in the past have made him uninterested in you or made you undesirable to him, you just have to chalk it up to charges to the game, because you make the mistake, but learn from the mistake. Right? Because once you kind of get into that territory where you make yourself very undesirable to a guy, it's hard for him to build back his desire for you unless you pull all the way back. And in the process of you pulling all the way back, he now finds you interesting once again. You understand what I'm saying? So it can be very difficult to do that when you've already established that that's you, right? And you've already established how he feels about you. So My honest advice, as horrible as it sounds and as painful as it sounds, do nothing. And if he doesn't come to you after that, or he doesn't reach out to you after that, then you know how he feels. And if he does, then you can start, strategizing on how you're not going to be as available again. You're not going to be as in his face or needy or desperate, and you're going to allow him to continue to come to you and pursue you. Okay. I hope that answered your question. All right. That's the show for today. By the way, thank you so much to Electric Feel in the YouTube chat. She's always donating. She's like she's our top donator on YouTube. We got Sammy, who's the top TikTok donator, and we got Electric Feel, who's the top YouTube donator. So thank you so much, of course, to Electric Feel, who she sends a message. She says validation is for parking. I love that. That's a good one. I'm gonna start using that. I'm gonna steal that phrase. Okay, validation is for parking. So thank you so much for the donation of $20, Electric Feel. All right, guys. So if you didn't get a chance to, if I didn't answer your question, don't fret. We have plenty more shows where I will answer your questions on ongoing, and you will get your question answered, rest assured. So don't you worry. Okay. If you didn't get a chance to send yours in, just hop over into the TikTok link in bio, where you can ask your question there. I had like a brain fart, where you can ask your question there. Or if you're on YouTube, just go down into the YouTube description and you can ask your question there, and in the YouTube description, in the Discord, in the relationship advice section, and try your best to keep it under the 2,000 character count. Okay. If you want to follow me on Instagram because you want to see me and in all my glory and existence since I've been here, since I've been in front of you, you want to know more about me and everything I do on a regular basis, you can follow me on Instagram. It's right above my head on the top left of the screen there. You can follow me on Instagram, and it's right at the bottom right of the screen there where you can follow me on Instagram if you're on YouTube. Okay. For those of you who are on TikTok and you want to get access to the show, maybe you missed parts of it, and you want to rewatch the parts of it that you missed, it's okay. Don't fret. This won't be gone forever. It's available on my YouTube. I'm live on YouTube and TikTok at the exact same time. So just go ahead, type in my name on YouTube. You can subscribe to the YouTube, go over into the live section, and you'll be able to see this show along with every other live show that I've ever done. And the most amazing part, it'll have the YouTube and the TikTok live chat embedded on the screen. So you'll be able to follow along with all the conversation that's happening during the live show. So for those of you who are on TikTok, you'll see your name and your picture, your profile picture, in the live chat while I'm discussing. So you'll know that it's you, and you'll be able to follow along with everything. It's awesome. It's a great experience. So that being said, I'm here every weekday, Monday to Friday at 4 p.m. Eastern time. So for those of you who want to catch me on time, make sure you're here 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Okay. And we will get this, we'll get this thing going tomorrow. Okay. Until then, hasta la vista, au revoir, arrivederci, goodbye. And I will see you tomorrow, 4 p.m. Eastern time, where again, we'll talk about love, life, and relationships. I love you so much. We'll be together